So this time on 818 Custom Garage, we've got part 2 of this awesome Flexi Powerwagon build. Welcome back, everybody. Shane with 818 Custom Garage. Hey, we've got a banger for you, I hope. This SCX24 Powerwagon, I mean, look at this thing. It's awesome. I mean, look how much flex it has the way it is. This thing performs really, really well. If you saw our last video, there are a few little things that we want to change up on it, right? So we're going to get to that in this video. So we noticed, hey, under full compression, you get in there and it's got you got full turning radius. This thing is binding up on the on the back of the truck, right? We were like, hey, we could go trim some more. So that was an option. I don't really want to do it because I feel like the trim that we did on it looks really good. I don't want to take away too much of the fender. The other option is to extend the front. So in this one, we are going to go extend the front of this, get a little bit more longer wheelbase. This should make this thing an even better performer. So we'll throw it on the scales, see what it is first, and see how much it weighs, see what the corner weights are. Then we're going to go do our upgrades, and we'll throw it on the scale again, and then we'll take it out to our backyard crawling, and we'll have some fun with it. So we've got a bunch of parts from Little Guy Racing Parts, a few other parts from manufacturers, but man, this thing is going to be a pretty wicked build, so stay tuned. So let's show you how we're going to go accomplish this this task at hand. So really, like I said, we're going to keep the back pretty much the way it is. We've got those RC all-wheel drive, high clearance arms. We've got the Mofo chassis. The chassis is okay, nothing crazy. It's carbon fiber, it's nice, gives more options for shock mounting. It'd be nice if it really was a little bit more LCG driven. We may end up changing that in the future though. But their center skid is super nice. Do a little bit of hand filing and stuff, but things went together pretty well. This thing flexes really good. Little on the heavy side, but let's show you how we're going to go do this. So the big thing is the front. So I picked up from Little Guy Racing Parts. This is their high clearance arms for their Ultra 24 kit. So they have an Ultra 24 comp kit that you can build with them. And I just was doing some research, and a lot of guys will take like C10 rear arms and put them on the front, and that's similar to what this is. It's just the upper arm is a little bit long, I think. So what's nice about these the Ultra 24s is the lower is I believe a 60 millimeter length, and then the upper I think is like 45 or 47, right around there, whereas like the stock C10 stuff is basically 60 lower and like 51 upper. So I think we'll get a little bit more caster gain with these arms and just get a little bit better clearance. So so we're going to extend the front of this truck. One of the other things that we're going to do, big thing, is this thing's getting a set of Super 8 axles. Man, and they are awesome. If you've never seen them, I mean, these are the aluminum version. I also have a set of the injection molded plastic versions, which are super awesome too. So lightweight, because we're going to do a lightweight build too with some of those. So, but these things, man, this is how it comes. It's all assembled and ready and stuff. Now we're going to make a few little changes. We've got a few really nice, we've got a set of the new U-joint axles that we're going to throw inside here, because eventually this thing's going to get some brushless power. They're just a little bit heavier duty axle. Not that these standard CVDs that come in them aren't nice, because they are. So we've got a whole set of the Super 8s that we're going to go throw on this guy too. So while we're at it, that way I'm going to take off. We'll take off like the big. We have the big trio weighted hexes, which are nice. I think they're great, and they fit fantastic. But we're going to remove those too, see if we can get a little bit of weight off this guy as well. Now, we may end up having to put them back on, and we're going to kind of go through and, like I said, we'll scale this thing out first and go from there. other than that, so one of the other things that we're going to do too is I have a set of gears. I've had these for a while. These are a set of overdrive gears. So I've got two, it's a pair. So I'm going to overdrive the front, keep the stock in the rear. And what that's going to help do is get the front to get a little bit more wheel speed. As you're climbing, it'll help pull you up the hills and everything else too. So pretty common thing to do on a lot of these rock crawlers. Some people will leave the stock front and underdrive the rear, which I don't mind either. But I prefer speeding up the front and keeping the stock rear. So especially if you do like an MR24 transmission and stuff, then you can start looking at other things where you might want to underdrive the front and underdrive the rear a little bit more too, because I think they run a little bit higher speed in the MR24 transmission. So, but a lot of cool options, a lot of different ways to extend the front. You could do it on the cheap with like some C10 stuff. Honestly, you could throw these arms on, and you do need a little bit longer drive shaft. So what we're going to, there are multiple options. So these are actually drive shaft extenders from Mofo RC. Pretty sweet. I may end up doing that at first. I've also got a lot of people take the stock C10 rear drive shaft, throw it in the front. I've got one of those. I've got a set of drive shafts, so we may end up cutting to fit for the front, staying with a plastic drive shaft. Or I think maybe at first I might throw the extender. I want to see how they work. I want to see how they hold up. Kind of curious to see if they end up breaking or any of that other thing, because they look pretty nice and they feel pretty beefy. So I think I want to try the extender, and they come with multiple different lengths in there in the kit. Super cheap, super cool idea, So we're gonna try. I think we'll try those at first and just see how they work. So we're gonna keep these same wheels and tires set up because I love them. The Enduro wheel, I like the offset on it for this build specifically. And I like the weight that's on them. I think they work good. These Trench Kings from Little Guy Racing Parts are awesome. So let's stop talking. Let's start building. Okay, so the first thing I always like to do is just take off the body and make it easier for myself. I just remove the hinge in the back. So this thing's super, super nice. This shouldn't be super crazy. We're going to speed you up. I'll slow you down in certain spots that I feel like, hey, we want to show a few things, but we're just going to get this thing rolling and slam this thing together because it shouldn't really be that difficult. So let's roll. All right, so we've got our whole front disassembled. I try to, just leave everything as a unit. Pretty cool. I'm gonna keep, I'll keep all this stuff because we could use it on something else. I mean, basically the front of these are, it's basically the same as on like a C10 or a lot of those. The only one that I think that's shorter is the deadbolt. So, but the C10. The Powerwagon, the longer Gladiator, the Gladiators all share the same front length, arms, and all that stuff. So you could actually do this conversion on a C10 or on a JLU or something like that too. So pretty cool. So we got this all out. I am a dingus. I totally forgot that we wanted to weigh this thing first. So totally screwed that up. I do know it is 10 grams lighter than our C10. So, that being said, we'll weigh this. Once we get this back together, we'll weigh the C10, weigh this. And I know this thing was 50-50, and I know it was 10 grams lighter than the C10. Even, and being a longer wheelbase, but that C10's heavy. So, we'll get it back together. We'll weigh both of them for you guys. And, hopefully I won't screw that stuff up anymore too. Sweet. So now, I think we'll get the front axle all ready. We've got I've got to pull part of it apart because I'm gonna do, like I said, we're gonna do the upgraded. Man, if you haven't seen these things either, these upgraded full U-joint axles. These are a full U-joint axle. These things are beefy. super strong. So they're going to take the abuse of any kind of brushless power. You know, the CVDs, they take the abuse too. Do they get it? Do they get messed up? Yes, every once in a while they can. You know, you can break pins and stuff like that. It's part of a deal. That's part of CVDs and stuff. CVDs are great, but I really like that little guy took the time to listen to the customer and figure out some, you know, heavier duty solutions too. So they're really good about feedback and everything else. So we're going to change the gears. We're going to change the axles. Slap this thing in. I was thinking of putting, I think in the front, I think I'm going to put a brass cover in the front, and the rear I'm going to leave, you know, with the aluminum cover. I don't think I'm going to do, you know, I could use the knuckles and stuff off of this if I decide I want to add weight, because they'll use a stock knuckle, which is pretty cool. So I could use these if we decide to. And I do also have, we're going to put, for the front, we're going to do brass steering. I have the brass steering links. So we'll do brass cover, brass steering links, because this thing isn't going to be a full lightweight build. I'm just going to do a couple little things that I think, because one of the other options is, man, some low slung steering knuckles from Mofo. I really like those. I like that because it does keep all the weight down low too. So we're going to see how it performs the way it is. I don't want to make things, I overweighted that C10 thinking, you know, it'll help it and stuff. And it does, but I'm more of I like the lighter weight stuff. So that's just me. Everybody can do everything the way they want. But I think this will be a good option. I think this thing's going to be sweet. I think this thing's going to be crazy. I think it's going to work really good. So we're going to get the, let's get this axle together. And then we will, we'll slap it all in. We'll get the rear on and we'll be good to go. So bang, we are back, man. So, this Super 8 is complete. We got, Ultra 24 front lower links on. They are super nice, fit perfectly. Everything went together so well. These new U-joint axles, so awesome. I mean, they are just beautiful. Everything, I mean, fit and finish, perfect. Fit and finish is perfect. We did the brass steering. We got the brass rear cover. Got the drive shaft on. Look at the width difference. That is pretty awesome. Super awesome. So let's, I got my scale here. Figured, let's weigh, because they're the same assemblies. The only thing is this one actually has this little plastic drive shaft on here. So let's weigh this front, you know, they both got brass diff covers. This has the brass knuckles, all stock. The only thing is this is all aluminum. So let's weigh this guy. This guy is 53 grams stock with some brass. Let's weigh 50 grams. This is lighter. All aluminum, billet aluminum, steering knuckles. It's got brass. It does have some brass, you know, has the same brass steering setups, that type of thing. This thing is lighter. So we've already shed some weight. And we are not planning on, right now, putting the heavy brass hexes that this had on here. I am planning on putting a standard, you know, regular old hex on there. If we decide we end up needing more weight, I will most likely do a low slung brass knuckle from Mofo. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm really happy with that. So, man, super nice. Way nicer. This thing is so cool. I mean, look at it. Looks great. It all fits. So awesome. They're little guy racing parts, man. Their stuff's so nice. So, the only way I know how to really get this stuff together is to go 1, 2, 3, ready? Bang! Check it out. It's all in there. I threw the body on too because we want to check fitment on things. So had a few little issues when I did it, so just figured I'd show you. But I mean, everything went together really well. But drive shaft. So if you look, we've got a Little Guy Racing Parts steel drive shaft in here now. Was gonna use, you know, the extensions, and I couldn't get it to work because you really need, if you're gonna go, you know, the extensions with the stock shaft setup, it was just a little too long, honestly. So when I tried to trim down the extension pieces from Mofo, since they're printed, they kind of crack and stuff. So I wouldn't really recommend that. The extensions might work on certain things. I didn't have a C10 rear shaft. I had one of these Gladiator rear shafts that I went to go cut down, but then they're not hollow all the way through. And then when I went to try to get the spline section in there, it wouldn't engage correctly. So call up the guys at Little Guy Racing Parts. They have the it's a 51.25 millimeter shaft. It is meant for basically these arms and all this stuff, so it's a bolt-in deal. Looks really, really cool. I really like it. Fits good. So really happy with that. Arms came out, fit excellent. Everything, fit and finish is great. I did move the shock mount, the upper shock mount from here, from more rear mounted to up here, because that way I could get the compression set up, but I may not get the exact amount of droop that I want. So we'll see. We may end up doing a shock change. We don't know yet. So I'm pretty happy with this. The only issue, so this is why I threw the body on, because I knew this might be an issue. That servo arm contacts the front of the body. So there are two options when I was thinking about this. I could take the rear hinge section, right, of this body and move it forward. Like move it forward the one hole and then drill one more hole. And I think that would probably work, moving it forward just one. Or, which is the option that I'm gonna probably do, is this piece of the body, this piece of the grill kind of comes down a little bit, is trimming it where it meets the front fenders, just trimming it straight across right there. That way, when this comes up, because it does also roll back, because like if you pull the body forward, it'll slip right underneath there. So I know moving the body forward would probably work, and I could probably keep the grill and all that other stuff. But I don't know. I'm going to think about that for 2 seconds. But what we're going to do is I'm going to pull the body back off. We're going to slam this beautiful rear Super 8 from Little Guy Racing in here and get everything mounted up and set up. And I think we'll get the wheels and tires back on, see where everything sits, and then make a final decision on the body. So I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm just going to do movie magic and go 3, 2, 1, ready. Bang! Check this thing out. It's got more left in it too. I think it came out super sweet. Let me show you a few things of what we did, how we made this thing work. So we'll get these cool little pallets out of the way. This thing sits good. I like the wheelbase now. I actually think it sits really good. So tires are in the rear lined up. Front's a little forward, but not much. I mean, it still looks proportional on it. We, for the rear, you know, we just did the Super 8 in the rear. We're still keeping the same shocks. So what we did on the rear shocks, we noticed we had little bind as we kind of came up here. The shock was kind of hitting the mount a little bit. So we did a thin spacer on the lower. We already had a spacer on the upper. We did go and cut all the springs in half finally. Never did that. One thing to remember too, when you get these Super 8s, you don't get the upper arm length mount. So you can use a stock plastic one. Little Guy does make theirs. It looks super cool. So I bought the Little Guy one as well. So really happy with how this all turned out. So Front, you can see now we've got, goes all the way up in there. Looks good. We did not cut that front grill. I was like, I don't want to cut the grill. I like it. So what we did was we did drill another hole here in the front, just a little hole right there in the front. Because the front hole is just where the little alignment studs go, and then use the existing hole to mount the actual mount. I may drill out the plastic mount back here a little bit so I can add a second screw thicken, but right now it actually works good. Everything worked good. We did, it was so close, so we did do a little trim, and I'll show it to you. If you look on right there, that white section, we just kept the grill, was able to just trim out the plastic just a little bit. Gives us plenty of room. So I just wanted to make sure we had enough clearance everywhere. So it comes down, man, no issues whatsoever. You can move it around and stuff, it still doesn't hit. So really happy with that. Turning wise, you really bury this thing, it's just gonna hit right there. We're not gonna hit this corner anymore and bind up. It should just rub clean through there. So now I really like the look of the truck. I think everything fits good. Everything's proportional. It is a little bit wider than it was before. Before we had the heavy spacers from Trio that were 5 mil. So we're now with the Super 8s, so they're 8 mil. So we added another 3 mil per side. I did not put so they've got a standard Little Guy Racing Parts hex on there. It is brass, just standard small brass guy. I think we're good. I really like the look. I really like the stance. I have a feeling we may end up going to a longer shock. Because you can see the shocks are now at a slight angle because they do reposition them. So we'll see. We're gonna go take it out, see how it performs, and then we'll go make some adjustments if we need to. I know for sure limit straps I need to adjust in the front because this is full droop in the front and they're not doing anything. So I think we'll go to, I don't want to do anything yet with the limit strap until I decide what shock I want to run on it. So we'll get the shock all set up on there and where we're going to do it, and then we'll finalize the limit strap. Also in the front, I think I want to have a bumper on the front too. I mean, it looks clean. I took the original mounts on the frame and just flipped them to the outside. And I may end up making kind of like a, maybe like a tube bumper in the front. Might be kind of cool. Nothing crazy. I want to keep it slim and kind of sleek. So I was thinking maybe just doing that, and I could paint it black or something too. So I really dig it. Really happy with, how all this turned out. Everything fits. It works it's almost like it's meant to be. So really, really, really happy. So cannot complain at all. All these Little Guy Racing parts, everything went together perfectly. Not one issue anywhere. And super clean. The fit is great. The finish is great. I think going with these arms and this drive shaft to extend the wheelbase was a good choice, instead of just trimming this thing. Now we got a nice long wheelbase. Should be fun. So let's weigh this thing, because we didn't weigh it before, right? So we're back. Oh, we did some weighing. I love this corner scale system. It's so awesome to have. I've used it a lot to set up the drag race cars and the speed run cars, and it's just really handy with the all the crawler stuff as well that I've worked on throughout the years. So let's talk about some weights. So we measured Mint again. Mint is 536 grams. That little C10 is 536 grams. It is pretty heavy. So Crush here, because Gage named him Crush. We like Orange Crush. He crushes rocks, all that. Crush is 515 grams. So I told you before that Mint was 10 grams heavier. So Crush was 525 grams before. He is now 515. So we've lost 10 grams, which is good. I like it. Lost 10 grams, but added aluminum axles front and rear, and that adds some weight, And up front, we've got brass steering and we've got a brass diff cover, similar to what we had on the last setup. We did have brass knuckles on the stock axle on the last one. And then we also did have a brass rear cover on the last setup. So let's talk. We are 50-50 side to side, which is good. Really happy about that. And then front to back, front 52, rear 48. So I would like to see the front closer to 60. So we may end up trying to see if we can shift a few things around. I don't really want to add weight to him. You know, I could add some weight in the front if we really need to, or if we can add, or if we can just shift electronics or something along those lines forward, we may end up doing that. So plans for the future on this thing is we're probably most likely going to go brushless on it. So we've got I think we've got the drivetrain and everything else set up to where we can go handle it. I'll probably use a stock transmission still, but probably put some metal gears inside of it, and then, you know, go brushless on it. But the way it sits, really, really happy with it. I still think maybe we might need a shock change, but we'll see. So 515 grams, not too bad for a stretched out Powerwagon, you know, because this hard body is heavy. So really happy with this thing. Let's go take it out. Let's go test it. We're going to go to a nice little crawl session, have some fun, and let's see how this thing does, and then see if we need to make any good changes. All right, Gage. We got the new Powerwagon out. Let me see it. Let me see see that extended front end. We just got that all together, right? Gonna take it out, do some cool stuff. You know, you don't have to punch it up there.
But it's so easy.
But it's so easy.
I know. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's totally different than the live.
Right? Has way more steering than the others do. It's so much easier.
Yeah, I mean, you still have all that trouble.
Oh yeah.
It's a nice, comfortable ride.
Right? I'd ride in that thing.
Hey, insurance is gonna cover that. That's all I gotta say. I wasn't doing anything. That's on film.
A1A Custom Garage's insurance has got that covered, right? Oh my goodness.
Especially the front. There we go. Oh, what is it? Wait, how do you know about it?
I follow you guys.
You do?
I do.
Hey man, family first, right?
I think I told Sarah, I was like, I stay for the music.
I stay for the music. Ah! Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Dash. You gotta get out of the way. Cole's always got it. He's got it. Get out of the way, Dash.
Yeah, I am.
Nice. Oh, good job, dude. Man, check out that Powerwagon. Oh yeah.
I think this is that limitation.
Yeah. This is where I think a different shock would probably help with this truck.
That is hollow.
That, and I'm going to do different inserts for the tires.
So I know that there's like typically foam on these things.
Yeah, so these have foam.
And what other inserts do they do?
They do, you can do, there's different types of foams, but
Yeah.
now everybody's doing these silicone and printed ones and all this other stuff.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
for the
that's something that I
specific
didn't think
tire.
about. I'm sure like a lot of people are printing parts of these things.
Oh, tons.
You know?
Yeah, tons of parts are printed these days. Yeah, so I have some, they're called slime balls coming from this company called Flub RC. They make tons and tons of like silicone inserts and all this other stuff for all these tires.
Wow.
For everybody's different tires.
And
you
they're
know?
all different
Sizes,
gauges, we'll say,
durometers,
yeah.
and gauges, yeah, all that type of stuff.
Apart from two little flubs, I think I did pretty good on
Yeah, you did really good because this is not an easy. That was not an easy line through there.
It's not like that loose stuff.
Yeah, and that's where I think maybe a different tire or having the inserts I think will help too because I think the sidewalls deform a little bit too much
On the soft stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So final thoughts on this super awesome Powerwagon build. So what do you think, Gage? Because it's yours. So what do you think about this thing?
I love it.
Why?
Because I just think it crawls over everything really well. And it looks super cool.
It looks super cool. It does look super cool. I agree. Extending that front chassis, the front part of the chassis, I think really made a big difference, huh? It looks cool. Man, anybody could do this one too, because you could do this with a stock chassis. You could do it with this chassis, a lot of other ones. I actually really like it, especially if you use the Little Guy Racing parts, their drive shaft, it's the perfect length. So their drive shaft with their links, it all works good. And I mean, you gotta love these Super 8s.
Yeah.
The Super 8 axles are so cool.
And these are the aluminum. I can't say it.
They are the aluminum housing. So one thing I did do, and we'll show it probably next time around, is we put the Mofo low slung knuckles on because I needed the aluminum knuckles that this had, so I had to steal them off here. But they did definitely help give the front some more weight. So we're gonna get some more test runs with this thing. But what do you think, Gage? We got stage 3 coming for this thing too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Stage 3 is going to be pretty wicked. It's sitting here in front of us.
And it has a new bumper.
Yeah, so we got the Eliminator chassis kit. We assembled the chassis itself. We're going to do we're doing a video on the Eliminator chassis kit itself and the assembly and going through that. Some tips and tricks on how to assemble that. I mean, honestly, it's amazing. But yeah, this thing is gonna transform a little bit more, and this whole chassis is gonna get used for another build for I think Grace.
Yeah.
Grace wants her Gladiator build, and so we're gonna use this whole chassis. We're gonna steal some things off of it for now for this, and then we're gonna go build that up. But we just really want to say thank you for all the support. This guy, I think it's Crazy Hat Day.
No, I'm a squid.
You're a squid? Okay.
Look, see, I got tentacles now.
You got tentacles. Okay. Man, these guys are nuts. This is what I do on a constant with all these guys, Having 4 kids is fun. Man, it keeps you on your toes. So, really appreciate all the support. Please comment, like, subscribe. We, just help the algorithm, keep going. Share with your friends. Share with everybody. I don't care. We enjoy doing this and we're having a blast. So remember, we've got a 10% discount code with Little Guy Racing Parts. It'll be in the description. I think it's 818CG10, which is 818 Custom Garage 10. So you can go there, use that. You can get 10% off everything. It's awesome. 10% off. Man.
Yay.
So, yeah, because we love their parts. They make awesome stuff for all these mini crawlers. All the scale stuff they do is really awesome. So, appreciate the support. We'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah.